to change the station. There is nothing wrong with your radio.
You are dialed in to the Unleashed Media Network with Daryl Arnold. Stand by for Real Talk.
Good morning. It's Monday. That weekend hangover morning. Nah. You know what? 6:31 a.m. on Monday, February 9th, 2026. My name is Daryl Arnold. You have tuned into the Unleashed, Uninhibited, Unapologetic, Fired Up, Unleashed Network on a Monday Fun Day. If you see the live stream, please go ahead and share it to your friends, family, or anyone who wants to get to know the truth the best that we can find it in this really crazy, messed up country that we're living in right now. But it's not all bad, y'all. It's not all bad. I don't know about you, but I watched the TPUSA halftime show on the Super Bowl yesterday with Kid Rock and quite a few others that absolutely fantastic job, by the way. A real American show by real American patriots. So I see a lot of y'all on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter /X, letting people know that you were one of the 10 million or so. Of course, that number changes. It's 5 million, it's 6. I just saw 10 million that were live streaming the TPUSA halftime show on the Super Bowl yesterday. So even if you didn't watch the game, I hope you got a taste of real music and a taste of real American patriotic, blue-collar, hard-working folks who care about the country, what's happening to the country, and all of that. Because, you know what? We need it. We absolutely need it. So we're on 104.3 FM, The Pirate. We're also on Facebook and all that good stuff. My name is Daryl Arnold. It is Monday, and we got a lot to jump into today. We're going to be talking about the headlines and way beyond. That's the theme of today's show. Open chat for questions. Open text line for questions, comments regarding the Super Bowl or anything else you want to talk about. My text line is brought to you by Cypress Point Resort, and the phone number to text is 601-918-8409, 601-918-8409. Do it. Don't hold back. Let's get it going. Good freaking morning. I see a lot of people checking in now on the live stream. So let's talk. What'd you think about Super Bowl 60, 6-0? Last time the the Seahawks, won, I believe was, I can't remember the exact year. But it's been a minute. The game was, I would say, kind of boring. Lot of field goals until later on in the game, third, fourth quarter. They both started playing a little bit of offense. But it was a very defensive game. Record-breaking Super Bowl as far as field goals. 5 freaking field goals in a row. I do think that the Patriots were overmatched. So if you're a Patriot fan, I'm not trying to be ugly because I really didn't have a dog in the hunt either way. But they were definitely overmatched in defense. Michelle Dickerson, Angie, what's up? Michelle's getting the kitchen ready for statewide inspection. Did not watch the Super Bowl. We didn't miss much. But I hope y'all all go back and watch the TPUSA halftime show, even if you didn't watch the Super Bowl. Because, like I said, the Super Bowl, I didn't care, honestly. I do like the story of Sam Darnold, the quarterback of Seattle. But other than that, that's it. Grab You One Outfitters and Jimmy Nichols and all that organization, Mississippi Center for Police and Sheriffs and all that are doing that. One of their benefits is coming up, and that's coming up on Saturday, April 4th. It's going to be held at Cypress Point Resort. It's a benefit honoring two people that are suffering and need help. A 2-year-old, Salem Bennett, okay, requiring at least 8 surgeries, y'all, and lives in a rural county. And Madison Deloche, 36 years old, U.S. Marine veteran. He also earned Navy and Marine medals for his sacrifice in combat. Now, this thing's going to include a dinner, drink ticket, live music, live auction, raffles, much more. You can check it out at cypresspointms.com. Click on events on April 4th, 2026. We'll be talking about that a lot more in the future. We'll probably have Mr. Jimmy Nichols, who, of course, works for our Congressman Michael Guest. We'll have him on discussing that in detail over the next few months. So, well, Kid Rock, ladies and gentlemen, was on his game, per se, pun intended, talking about Jesus Christ, giving people chills at the halftime show, bringing Christianity back to the forefront, while the regular Super Bowl halftime show with Nasty Rabbit, Bad Bunny, singing in another language that nobody could even understand. Is this where it is now? Is this where it really is? This is what the mainstream wants to push on us? We couldn't even understand the vocalist. It's like the Super Bowl all of a sudden went to Telemundo. Nobody can make that make sense to me. I'm sorry. And it has nothing to do with people being racist or blah, 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 or haters. We just need English, y'all. Chris Henderson, what's happening, brother? I mean, English, hello. Jesus. I mean, for real, though. Unbelievable. We'll discuss the unbelievable weekend that we had over at Cypress Point Resort, Cameron's Garage, the Tavern, Steakhouse, buffet, all kind of stuff. If you see your friends out there checking in with you on social media this morning, invite them over to the broadcast, the live stream. Like I said, we're going to be discussing the truth as we know the truth with headlines and beyond. So what we try to do on this show, if you've never tuned in, welcome. If you have tuned in, you know the drill, or you know the deal, Pickle. What did you do for the Super Bowl, or did you even watch the freaking Super Bowl? A lot of people have checked out of the Super Bowl due to the crap that started years back. So, there you go. There you go. All right, let's dig into it. It's 6:41 on a Monday, February 6th. We're just talking about Kid Rock, and he was making chills run down your arms, legs, or whatever. Goosebumps, duck bumps, all of the above. He said there's a book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There's a man who died for all of our sins, hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus, and he will give you a second chance. Amen. Now, I know that sounds odd coming from Kid Rock, but there you go.
Book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There's a man who died for all our sins, hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus, and he'll give you a second chance till you can't take it.
Wow. What about the Kid freaking Rock, ladies and gentlemen? Kid freaking Rock. So I hope you were paying attention to that wonderful message and that wonderful song. And look, I see people in the comments talking about they didn't watch the Super Bowl. I haven't watched TV in years. Me either. But I do watch the Super Bowl just to get the gist of what's going on with the Maniacs. Really and truly. My friend Conservative Bob from down in Biloxi said about Kid Rock, he said, this was a beautiful performance by an unexpected person, but you can never judge people on what's in their heart. Yeah, you're right. You are absolutely right. Anyway, the Super Bowl show was not on TV, of course. But there were some ads on TV, thank God, this year for promoting ICE, working for ICE, promoting good stuff. Even the Budweiser commercial was an all-American commercial for a change, back to the old ways. So there's some hope, you guys. These people who are tragically trashing our own country that we call America, and they're doing that. If you don't think they are, then you're absolutely wrong. They're just doing it. Coffee time. Oh, yeah. So, they are doing it. So, if you don't believe that, then you've been asleep. Logan, ladies and gentlemen, Logan. Let me find that particular. But before we get into that story, one more thing here. Benny Johnson, TP USA humiliated the NFL's halftime performance. I gotta agree with Benny on this. I don't agree with Benny all the time, but I do agree this time.
We just mogged the NFL tonight in the single greatest culture war victory in my lifetime, with the defeat of the NFL's woke, cringe, derivative, foreign, unintelligible, Spanish-speaking, no-hit songs played halftime show that nobody could understand, and that everybody is saying across the internet, the single worst halftime show in NFL history. Meanwhile, Turning Point put on a show that was banger after banger after banger. Country music, American rock, feel-good songs sung by Americans who love their country and can speak English.
Yeah, English. This is our country of English. I don't have a problem with people being over here in this country legally, but they have to learn the language. I mean, do you think that they would let us come over there and not learn the language wherever they're from? Of course not. This is a big old scam. A big old scam. And that's it. That's all I got to say about that. What else is going on? Well, I'll tell you this, a lot's going on. Epstein dumps after Epstein dumps after Epstein. Millions of pages and millions of emails. Okay? Millions of emails. Everybody is a private eye and a detective on the podcast scene. And even some of the fake conservative podcasters, even some of the far right Trump hating, and of course the far left Trump hating. We are going to absolutely lose the freaking midterms if these people keep doing all this stuff on the real far right. Okay? You're a bunch of freaking losers. Stop it. Learn your lesson. Be forgotten. Like Marjorie Trader Green. Thomas Gassy Massey. Go away. I mean, what do you want? A Democrat to win all the midterms and every single thing good that Trump's done, foreign and right here in our country, will be erased with a pen and a vote. He will also get impeached and nothing will get done for his last 2 years. Is that what y'all want? I mean, for real, though. Because that's sure in the hell what it's looking like. You backstabbers, all of you fake patriots, you grifters looking to make money off the freaking posts and all your damn videos, come on. And if you think we can't see through that, then you're crazy. But we also need elections, people, where they're not going to be able to cheat. We knew it the first time. They shut us down. They censored everybody. I mean, it was a disgrace if you called a cheat a cheat. And by now, what are we finding out? We were freaking right the whole time, which we knew. Even on NBC, that's right, NBC. Donald Trump's not scared. He did an interview with the Woke Joke NBC talking about what I was just discussing. Election integrity. Election integrity without the cheating.
We're working on the Save America Act, which is going to secure up a lot of things, but secure up our voting. I think people would like to do it, and I think Democrats would too. You know, when you go to voter ID and you ask Democrats, it's polling at 82% with Democrats. I'm not talking about Democrat politicians. I'm talking about Democrats. We have to do something about our voting. We need strong borders. We need a fair press, which we don't have. And we need, and very importantly, we need the strong border, the fair press, and we need fair elections. We need elections where people aren't able to cheat. And we're going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get it done. And by the way, it polls, even with Democrats, they want that.
Yep, take that, NBC. Take that. But he's absolutely right, y'all. He really is. Grandpa sent me a text. It's his nickname, by the way. Trump needs to put a stop to mail-in voting. That's right. Well, I do believe that no mail-in voting is part of the SAVE Act. My bigger question is, why won't John Thune, the leader, and let's get this thing passed? Trump has been talking about this since way before he was reelected. Seriously. Some great people put this bill to the floor, or put this bill out there. Why will it not get passed, y'all? I mean, pass the SAVE Act. Please. Congress must safeguard American voter eligibility. It's really that simple. Who in the heck would not want to do that? I say that all the time, but I'm being serious. I mean, voter ID has broad, and I do mean really broad, public support. But the political consensus, is divided apparently. Why? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Someone comment, text me something. Why? Why? Here's a typical response from a nut job, far left, progressive liberal. He said, quote, his name is Lawrence. He looks like a complete loser. The SAVE Act is a scam by Donald Trump to disenfranchise and discriminate against blacks, Hispanics, as well as younger voters, senior citizens, and lower middle income voters. BS. That's BS. Do you know how many black people, Latino people, white people, Asian people I see on TikTok and every other Facebook and you name it, who are actually for that because they want legal people voting. Legal, not illegal. Kevin Furlow checking in. But yes, they want legal people voting. American public wants that. Just because Larry Lawrence, the lunatic, commented on this, dude, you're wrong. I'm sorry. The only reason, okay, I'm going to say this for the 1 millionth time. The only reason you would not want voter ID is because you want to cheat. And the progressive Democrats know they can't win without cheating. We've been saying this for well over a decade. We've been saying this on this show for over 6 years. I mean, seriously, imagine how difficult and different it would be if it was just 1 day and one vote. Now, I'm not saying that's going to pass, but just imagine how different that would be. Somebody sent me a picture saying fair elections would end the Democrat Party. Well, good, end it. Because we're tired of the cheating. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? We are tired of the cheating. I'm not saying that both sides haven't cheated. Probably so. It doesn't matter. We're tired of the cheating. We're tired of the cheating. We got about a minute before the top of the hour here. there was the U.S. Immigration and ICE put out a fantastic commercial on the Super Bowl about the brave men and women and the ICE heroes, because that's what these people are when they put their shoes on every day and wake up to go fight the idiots, the rioters. They are not protesters. If you call them protesters, you've been asleep. You have been sound asleep. These immigration officers wake up daily to protect our asses. Just remember that. When you wake up, when you go to work, no matter what state you live in, no matter what city you live in, ICE is coming after the illegal, especially the illegal criminal aliens, the illegal criminal, the rapist, the murderers, the drugs, so on. Stabbings, crazy stuff. Crime, okay? Crime. Real crime. Real crime. Top of the hour. My name is Daryl. You are tuned in to the Unleashed, Uninhibited, Unapologetic, Unleashed Media Network radio show and live stream on this fine Monday morning, February 9th. And I hope you stay tuned in with us, because we're just getting wound up.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
You're not. You're in Pearl, Mississippi. Listening to Power 104.3, The Pirate, where we play almost everything.
Mobility Medical is your home medical equipment provider. Located in Flowood, Mobility Medical specializes in medical supplies, medical equipment, wheelchair lifts, wheelchairs, electric wheelchairs, lift chairs, and mobility equipment. Our phone number is 601-932-1001, and our catalog is available on our website at mobilitymedicalinc.com. Mobility Medical, your trusted source for medical supplies and equipment.
On January 3rd, Ron Fearman and his daughter were saved from a flood by Army reservists.
Okay, grab my shoulders. Hang on tight.
Were it not for their employers letting them do their duty, this story might have had a very different ending.
You're going to be safe.
To every employer who supports the National Guard and Reserve, thanks for making us your business. A public service message brought to you by the employer support of the Guard and Reserve and the Ad Council.
Wake up! Get up! We starting the day!
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media Show with your host, Daryl Arnold. Daryl.
Welcome back, y'all. It is Daryl on this Monday morning. It is 7 o'clock, top of the hour, WPBP, also on live stream. We are talking, and we have been discussing the radical Democrats who want to cheat on elections and all that. But right before the break, right before we went into the top of the hour,
don't forget to,
we were discussing the actual.
Point.
We were discussing the actual ICE commercial that was on the Super Bowl. Really good stuff, by the way. Really good stuff. If you didn't see that, probably one of only two things I liked about the Super Bowl in general. These people who love this country, these are immigration custom enforcement officers. I'm going to run this commercial that we're in on the Super Bowl.
They're friends and neighbors, sons,
fathers. They're Little League coaches and veterans. They're people who love this country. These are Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers. They are removing violent criminals from our streets and neighborhoods. It's dangerous and difficult work. But ICE has one mission: to make America a safer place to live, and that's what they're doing. This is law enforcement. This is ICE.
Yep, that's what ICE is doing. But you will hear all of the top-level progressive wing jobs, the nuts, doxing them, going after their family members, screaming in their face, calling them every single bad person name you can absolutely think of. Okay? I say thank you to every single one of them. Thank you to all the ICE agents that are doing their best, ladies and gentlemen, to keep our freaking cities safe. And really, we're all sorry as patriots that these other fools are attempting to harm you and do these bad things. We apologize for the nut jobs. We really do. We do. America loves law and order, and America voted for law and order in big waves. Big, huge waves. We voted for law and order because we were so sick and tired of the woke agenda and the auto pen, whoever was signing whatever, and the literally no bail, letting people out of jail, letting 20 million plus maybe come in the country, unvetted, walk straight in. Crazy, that's what. And all the Democrats ever say, well, what about a storm in the Capitol? Well, what about it? And what does storming the Capitol have to do with y'all beating up on ICE agents and going after their families? If you're such good people and you care about stuff, why would you do that to any human? So shut up. Shut the hell up. Period. We're tired of the lies. We know what you're doing. We're not dumb. We're just not. The big dummies think we're dumb. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. Hakeem Jeffries, what a joke. He said, quote, this morning, the affordability crisis is out of control. Donald Trump doesn't give a damn. Republicans are more focused on dividing the country and letting ICE use tax dollars to brutalize American citizens. Shut the hell up. We're trying to protect the American citizens from horrible leadership like you putting into place and letting, illegal aliens get health care, get their government checks every month, and they're not even citizens. And then those same citizens are brutalizing the ICE agents for only doing their job. So his gaslighting and his lies, that's Hakeem Jeffries, are freaking out of control. Really and truly, period, end of discussion. If you don't agree with me, I do not care. That's my opinion and my opinion. Really and truly, that's a fact. I don't care. And apparently somebody's paying off all these rogue judges because they're running the damn country to go against Trump and the security of the American people, which, by the way, in case you didn't know, is all of us. It's got to be cut off at the head and the foot, as Newt Gingrich once said. The Soros crime families, all of those people have got to be stopped, arrested, thrown in jail, thrown under the jail, whatever you got to do. Ship them out. Ship them out. And the TPUSA, the All-American Halftime Show, this just came out 30 minutes ago, just smashed over 10 million people, 25 million on social media. They said it was impossible. They laughed. They called it a pipe dream. But for Charlie, no, people stood up. For Charlie. All you maniac moms and women and some guys sitting around the country talking about Erica Kirk is this and Erica Kirk is that. You don't know her. Shut up. And it was for Charlie. Charlie. Not Erica. But you don't know her. You absolutely don't. And neither do I. But anyway, Donald Trump Jr. said it best. Congrats to all my friends at Turning Point for knocking it out of the park last night. Charlie would have been proud. And yes, he would have. Proud Americans were proud of that. Tim Walz. Timmy boy, where you been? The biggest buffoon in politics is openly, lately, talking BS and fantasizing about a civil war. You need to be careful with those words, sir. So I would guess that Democrats really haven't changed that much since the 1860s. Right? Good morning, Brooke Thomas. Anyway, the stock market late last week hit the all-time record ever in history, 50,000. That was double what it used to hit, even back when Trump first came on board. Here's what Trump had to say about the Super Bowl. Well, let's just take it in pieces. The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever. It makes no sense that in front of the greatest of America, and it doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, and excellence. Nobody understands a word this man is saying, and he's referring to Nasty Rabbit Bad Bunny. And the dancing is not good, disgusting, especially for young children that are watching throughout the USA and all over the world. And we move to the next sentence. This show is just a slap in the face to our country. I agree with him. Which we're setting new standards and records every single day, including the best stock market 401k in history. There is nothing inspirational about that halftime show. He's right. It will get great reviews from the fake news media because they haven't got a clue of what's going on in the real world. That part of the whole entire statement is the most important part. It's the most important part. Because I talk to people all the time who don't have a freaking clue what's going on. Engage a little bit, people. I'm not saying become politically motivated. I'm not saying make politics your life. I'm not saying do a show on politics. I'm saying be aware of what's happening to your own country and the lies with the fake news media. Okay, we're going to keep preaching this just like Trump does. He's been the only one that has busted these fools out as a president. He's been the only one. And crime right now, historically in this country, it's down at the lowest level ever. And, they fake news media doesn't want to talk about that because they want to keep the BS stirred up. The drama stirred up. They can't help themselves. They cannot help themselves. They just can't. Cannot help theirself. Goofy. All right? Goofy, goofy, goofy. But what do? Well, I'll tell you what we do. We continue to fight like hell to keep our country free, first of all. And we fight like hell to keep censorship out of this country because, ladies and gentlemen, this is a real deal. Okay? The UK, all those kind of places, they've lost their freaking minds. Period. Reporter asked Donald Trump on the interview for NBC, fake news media. He said what President Trump thought of the famous Bill Belichick getting snubbed for the Hall of Fame.
Good relationship with the Patriots, including the former head coach, Bill Belichick.
Right.
What did you think when he was snubbed on the first ballot of the Hall of Fame?
I thought it was terrible. I mean, he's won so much, won so many Super Bowls, great coach. Became a little bit controversial, I guess, after that. His little period after that. During it, he was just a great coach. I thought it was very inappropriate.
You think he deserves it, the Hall of Fame?
Oh, yeah. It's like, what have you done for me lately? Well, you have a great career, and he has had a little bit of a controversial year and a half, 2 years, maybe. But what difference does that make? No, he should be in there right at the top.
Of course he should. Of course he should. Whether you like him or not, okay? You don't have to like him. Okay? You don't have to like him. That doesn't mean anything. Senator Kennedy, well, actually, Secretary Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, not Kennedy from Louisiana, but RFK Jr. Kennedy is discussing the brand new TrumpRx.gov. If you haven't heard about it, check it out. Americans are going to be paying the lowest cost in the world, keyword world, for all their pharmaceuticals in terms of affordability. It's going to be a game changer for America, ladies and gentlemen.
I want to ask you about TrumpRx.gov. Launched this week. There are some big discounts, mostly for weight loss and fertility drugs, but some other things too. Joe Biden for years used to say it's illegal for the federal government to negotiate directly with pharmaceutical companies. So could this have been done years ago?
It could have been done 40 years ago, and it should have been done. Every president has promised to do it. President Clinton promised to do it. We're paying, compared to Europe, we're paying 2, 3, 4, 15 times what Europeans are paying for the same drug that was made by a factory in New Jersey. And thanks to President Trump's vision and courage and his just relentlessness, we were able to leverage tariffs and to negotiate in good faith with 16 of the 17 pharmaceutical companies. They're now all lowering their prices. So Americans are going to be paying the lowest cost in the world for all their pharmaceuticals. They were paying the highest cost, and that's going to be, in terms of affordability, it is going to be a game changer for America.
Wow. I'll tell you, this MAHA movement and RFK Jr. has done such a fantastic job to try to help Americans out. And the food is affecting everything that we do, as far as what RFK Jr. said. He said, if a foreign enemy or person like that did this to our country and poisoned us at a mass scale, we would consider it an act of war. Americans have to be the CEO of their own health, and we're equipping them with the tools to do that. Well, good for you, brother. I'm serious. It's not a joke. Good for you. Good for you. Inflation is down. Strong growth in stocks at a record high. The lowest murder rate in over 100 years. But yet the fake news media will still go after Donald Trump every day, and all of you who support him, including me. Democrats don't want to talk about all the great stuff, like the murder rate being the lowest in over 100 years. They just want to hoot, holler, scream, raise Cain. It's just what they want to do. 0 border crossings in the last freaking 9 months. Straight. Oh, God. Don't lose focus, people. The left-wing media is trying to distract you and divide you, and that will never change. That will never, ever change. It just won't. It's a fact. At least 50 new arrests are reported as riots intensify outside the federal building in Minnesota. It's just crazy. I mean, this just broke about 6 minutes ago.
50 people were arrested in Minnesota over the weekend after anti-ICE protests broke out in front of a federal building in St. Paul. Officers cracking down on protests after a deputy was apparently hit in the face with ice. Police say at least half of the people arrested were detained for failing to comply with orders, and add that minimal force was used and no protesters were hurt, with just one deputy suffering minor injuries.
Yeah, they're saying protesters, but that's not a protester, y'all. These aren't protests. They're just not. They're absolutely not protests. Some of them may have started like that, but that's not the way it worked out for them. So it's just not. We're going to take a next break for you right here. Speaking of Kid Rock, what a great, fantastic mashup at the Super Bowl on TPUSA last night. I hope you got to check it out. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. My name is Daryl.
Don't forget to check out Cypress Point Resort. Memories are made at Cypress Point. Close to home, yet it feels miles away. At Cypress Point, you can truly get away from it all. You can step back to a simpler time, yet enjoy all the amenities of today. Cameron's Garage is a sports bar and music venue. There's a lunch buffet every day inside Cypress Point. They also have a steakhouse and the tavern. The tavern is a quaint little place with live music Wednesday through Saturday. And of course, you've got the safari park and petting zoo. Don't forget about all the event halls, including the wedding chapel and so much more. That's Cypress Point Resort, located at 874 Hollybush Road, Brandon, Mississippi. Contact them at 601-829-1101 or at cypresspointms.com.
Hey folks, Daryl Arnold here with 104.3 FM and Unleashed Media. If you're looking for a fresh start in 2026, listen up. Mississippi Coding Academies and the Next program are launching brand new classes in January of 2026. No cost to you. You can learn coding, AI, cybersecurity, drones, robotics, digital operations. These are real in-demand skills that lead to real Mississippi jobs. No degree needed, no experience needed, just the drive to build a better future. Classes begin January 2026 with locations across the state and online. Visit mscoding.org. That's mscoding.org and discover what's next for you.
Attempt to change the station. There is nothing wrong with your radio.
You are dialed in to the Unleashed Media Network with Daryl Arnold. Stand by for Real Talk.
And also at 104.3 FM WPBP and the live stream. 7:23 on Monday, February 9th, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up on Valentine's weekend for all you lovers out there. Valentine's weekend. Valentine's Day is Saturday officially. Officially on Saturday. But you know what? Hey, if you don't have a special one, it's okay. I'll be out with the single folks. We'll be having fun. We'll be looking for all of you, too. It's a big week over at Cypress Point. Check out at Cypress Point MS on Facebook. And all the schedules are getting ready to be posted this morning. Some of them already have, including the Blue Plates. The Blue Plate specials over at Cameron's Garage all week. All the music specials on Valentine's. We're going to have 3 different events in the same building. Well, almost the same building, next door. We got Burnham Road, $10 to get in. That is a huge full band Burnham Road show. It's been a while since that happened. This is February 14th, Valentine's. And of course, the Tavern Steakhouse and the Observation Deck all will have dinner specials for Valentine's. If you're date night, if you're not date night, we have the date night specials or the couple specials as well. This is huge, y'all. It is a big event. Bradley Parker on the Observation Deck, live music. That's going to be great. Okay. And also, like I mentioned, Burnham Road, the full band. It's been a while since they've been there, and that's going to be happening at Cameron's Garage. It's a event. It's $10 to get in, which is unheard of around here for what all you get. So just remember that. Remember that. And Nick Bernard going to be in the tavern that night. If you haven't seen Nick, he's incredible. Nick Bernard in the tavern, Valentine's evening. So, as we move on, we were discussing the nasty, nasty people going after ICE. We're talking about the nasty, nasty people. David Hall sent a text in at 601-918-8409. You can do the same, 601-918-8409. He said, good morning, D. As far as I'm concerned, the NFL is dead. I haven't watched it since they started kneeling. Right. Really hadn't mattered to me since the Saints won. Yeah. That's actually a lot of people around here. I mean, a lot. Oh, a lot of people. You know, a lot of people. I'm sorry, I'm just receiving some news. Not really good news, but anyway, we'll talk about that later. On a different day. Hate getting those kind of messages in the middle of a show, but let's just say, let's put out some really, 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 really big prayers for a really, really dear friend of all of ours. Speaking of that, let's put out some really big prayers for the family, the fans, the friends of Brad Arnold, the singer of Three Doors Down, who unfortunately passed away over the weekend at only 47 years old as he lost his battle to cancer. One of the greatest bands, and definitely biggest selling band from Mississippi, right here in our own state, Brad Arnold, and just such a great, really good guy and a patriot. Always played shows for the military, put the military in the front, always. But most importantly, he put the Lord Jesus Christ in front. But yes, Brad Arnold, super talented. We all love Three Doors Down, massive hits. So, rest in peace, Superman. That's what we got for you on this Monday, February 9th, 2026. 2026. A lot of people have stories with Brad Arnold because he spent some time living in the metro area near the reservoir across the spillway there. So he was out and about. He was very approachable, super nice guy, very approachable, but a complete rock star at the same time and fantastic songwriter, selling out stadiums, selling millions and millions of records, downloads, CDs, and etc. And of course, selling out live concerts. Touched a lot of people because they had a lot of hits. And because he was such a nice person, a godly man, a Christian warrior, and a good person. So, God bless your soul and rest in peace to Brad Arnold from Three Doors Down. We do share the last name. Funny story. I saw him at a local establishment one night. And I said, hey, bro, what's going on? You owe me some royalties. He, of course, laughed. I said, look, man, we got the same last name. Jokingly, he said, oh, yes, I do, damn. But the same night, I had left the establishment we were hanging out at, and I had lived at the time across the spillway. And I had a flat tire on the spillway. It wasn't too late. Maybe 9, 10, I don't remember. And I'd gotten out to find my jack. You know, it's always a pain in the, you know what, to find your jack, your lug wrench, so on, so on. And a gentleman pulled up behind me and got out of his vehicle and said, let me help you change that tire. I said, no, I got it, bro, but I appreciate it. As he approached me, it was Brad Arnold. And I went, oh, yeah, that's right. We got the same last name, so you can help me. Great story, true story. Amazing dude. So just wanted to do a quick segment on Brad Arnold from 3 Doors Down. Good dude. Good dude. And just like me, just like all of y'all out there, you music lovers, and especially rock lovers, and 3 Doors Down lovers, we're all heartbroken. Okay? We are. So, 7:32 a.m. Let's try to get back on track here. And let's talk about a couple of things that we haven't gotten to yet that I wanted to open up this morning. Well, we kind of got started a little bit on the voter ID thing because it's so important. But holy smokes, the Democrats are PO'd. They're freaking out because John Fetterman, the Democrat, just basically demanded over the weekend on a Sunday morning show, Sunday Morning Futures, I believe, with Maria. He demanded voter ID. And it's just common sense, y'all. It really is. It's common sense.
Now, me as a Democrat, I do not believe that it's unreasonable or to show ID just to vote. And I remind everybody that less than a year ago in Wisconsin, they added that to the Constitution by a 63%, passing, to put that in the Constitution that you have to show ID to vote. And they also elected a very, very liberal justice into their Supreme Court. So it's not a radical idea for regular Americans to show your ID to vote. And it's absolutely, those things are not Jim Crow or anything. Of course, that's part of an awful, awful legacy of our nation for so long ago. But where we are now, trying to find a way forward, just trying to call balls and strikes, seeing what's unreasonable, hopefully we don't have to do, and pay the TSA people and everyone, secure our border, and focus on deporting all of those kinds of criminals.
That's John Fetterman, a Democrat. One of only a few, if not only one, with a little bit of common sense. So pass the Save America Act now. Nuke the filibuster now. I'm talking to y'all. Okay, I'm talking directly to you. No more delays, no more excuses. The people want exactly what I just said. That's what we all voted for. Period. It's period. There's a common rebuttal to that, of course. It's like, it's racist to require ID, which is insane. So it's racist to require an ID to fly on an airplane because you have to have one. Seriously. Is it racist when you walk in the store to buy a pack of cigarettes or a 6-pack of beer to require an ID because you have to have one? Give me a break. Give me a break. One of the most sacred things that we do in this country is to vote. Why would you not want to have an ID? Because you want to cheat if you don't. That's why. And you're radical, and you are actually the enemy of America, if you feel that way. You're the enemy of America, if you feel that way. Good morning to Jeff Murrah in the hizzy in the house. You want to talk about sick getting sicker? The sick getting sicker? Representative Gene Wu, of course a Democrat, going mask off. What's wrong with this guy?
Gay, the Latino, African American, Asian, and other communities realize that they share the same oppressor is the day we start winning. Because we are the majority in this country now. We have the ability to take over this country and to do what is needed for everyone and to make things fair. But the problem is our communities are divided. They're completely divided.
Yeah. We got to end wokeness. We got to do all of that. Period. Do all of that. Get rid of it. Vote these people out. Vote them out now. We spent the first hour of this show talking about the Super Bowl, talking about the woke joke, Nasty Rabbit, Bad Bunny. I'm sure most of my listeners marked themselves safe from watching that and switched over and watched the real American Super Bowl halftime show at TPUSA with real music that was actually in English. Wow. English. Bad Bunny halftime show was trash. You may not agree with me, and that's okay. And if you call the critics of that racist, then you're purely gaslighting. That's all you're doing. You're just gaslighting. We're used to it. We're very used to it. So the MVP of the Super Bowl was the running back Walker. That guy did a heck of a job, okay? He really did. The MVP, Kenneth Walker III, just did it right. Right after leading the Seattle Seahawks to a dominant victory and claiming the shiny, shiny MVP trophy, he hits the microphone without hesitation.
We went through a lot of adversity.
And who does he think? Who does he think?
First and foremost, I want to thank God for this, blessing to be here. Also, I want to thank my brothers. This don't happen without them. We went through a lot of adversity this season, but we came together and we...
So, I saw another video where they ask over 20 NFL players regarding the Nasty Rabbit Bad Bunny if they liked him or watched him or, whatever. And they're like, no, we don't. Why would we want to watch somebody that doesn't sing in English? Seriously. Turn over to Telemundo. They have it all in Spanish for you. The entire Super Bowl, not just the halftime show. They have a dedicated channel for you. They have a dedicated channel for you. So what's the deal? And back to that Gene Wu character, that Democrat. White people, the go-to scapegoat for every refugee who ever escaped actual tyranny, only to trash the nation that took them in. That's what those people do. That's what those people do. It is. So if showing your ID to vote is racist, and I went over this many times on this show, and I'm going to continue to do it until they do something about it. Showing ID to fly is racist. To buy a gun, I guess that's racist. Open a bank account, racist. Tobacco, alcohol, racist. We could go on and on about your freaking ID. On and on. So the chairman of the Department of Government Efficiency, which is Representative Tim Burkett, and he's always online. He talks about his feelings openly, which I love. Confirms that members of Congress are buying real estate and then renting it back to the government, including a racket system worth $1 trillion with a T dollars. And he claims this is just the tip of the iceberg. He said, I found out that through government duplication, he has a chart, by the way. It's just the craziest looking thing, and it shows, and my staff has uncovered basically over $1 trillion of simple duplication within these departments. Big federal buildings, y'all, are owned by members of Congress and then are leased out to the federal government. Private buildings owned by members of Congress leased back to the federal government. Can you make any of that make sense to me? Seriously. You think the founding fathers wanted it this way? Negative. Hell no. You think the taxpayers wanted it this way? No. No. Maladministration. So basically, this is a text message, by the way. Thanks for the text, Gabrielle. Good morning. So basically, all of our governments are just exalted, organized crime. Well, I mean, I guess so. That's one way to look at it. That is one way to look at it. The really sad part of all of this is we're not surprised, especially people that live in my area, our area, with these leases, these 99-year leases, all that. You don't own it. You don't own it. You can't. It's a big club, these people, and we ain't in it. Okay? We ain't in it. But we, WE, are paying for it. Nobody will get arrested for this because it's nothing new. It will be swept under the rug. Period. We wish there were more representatives like Tennessee's Tim Burkett, but to clean out the sewer, but, you know, that happening is a whole different story. A whole different story. Just a whole damn different story, actually. Anyway, with that being said, 7:45 on Monday morning, February 9th, 2026. My name is Daryl Arnold. You are tuned into the Unleashed Media Network, brought to you by Mobility Medical, and that's mobilitymedicalinc.com. That's on Lakeland Drive near Airport Road. And also brought to you by MS Coding and MS Coding Academies across the state. That's mscoding.org. Okay, .org. Get trained up. It's a grant program, so it's not going to take bucks out of your pocket. Get trained up. You want to go into AI, you want to go into cybersecurity, you want to go into any of these type things that are really literally taking over the world. And that's a fact. They just are. They are taking over the world as we speak. Right now. Right now. Getting some text message and a lot of follow-up. Take a closer look, someone said, at the real owners of the, quote, leases out by the reservoir right here in the local Rankin County area. Yeah. I know. It's a sham. I get it. I get it. And as far as big government goes, with them owning the federal buildings and then, of course, renting it out, leasing it out, selling it, whatever, you think that's a dang conflict of interest? Well, of course it is. But what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? What's going to happen? And speaking of what's going to happen with all these criminals that Pam Bondi has not perp walked right on in to jail? What's going to happen? Seriously. The left is furious, though, this morning, and I love it. The progressive left is furious after all the new polls reveal a super majority, not a regular majority, of people says that Kid Rock's halftime show had a much better halftime than Bad Bunny, 67% to 33%. And that's even according to TMZ, a huge Democrat fake site. A brutal flop. You messed up the NFL, okay? You did. Even though it was already messed up, you messed it up more. The single greatest crime ever perpetrated against the United States government and the American people, 138,000 votes and not a single Trump vote among them. Yeah. There will be a revolution, y'all, about all that. Just letting you know. Because even the mainstream media knows and are actually reporting on it. Along with the COVID scam and everything else, the shut down the country scams, as I should say. As I should say. So maybe everybody on a different subject should take up what Florida's doing. The Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles, which is their DMV and the Department of Safety, now requires every knowledge test, drivers, of course, these are big truck drivers and all that, a skills test, a road test, and an oral exam, only in English, by the way, exclusively in English. The policy took effect this past Friday, and you know what? Common sense, ladies and gentlemen. It's common sense. Say what you want to about Ron DeSantis handling business in his state. Handling business. The game was closer. The game was closer. Somebody texted me this. I don't know who put this up, but looks like it was on a TMZ thread. Dan Bongino shared, but it says, who had the better halftime show, Bad Bunny or Kid Rock? And they said, well, the game, which wasn't close at all, was closer. In other words, Kid Rock stomped it. TPUSA stomped it above Nasty Rabbit. And who would want to listen to Nasty Bugs Bunny with no English? We don't know what you're saying, dude. We don't know what you're saying. We do not, in fact, know what you're saying. So there you go. There you go. In fact, there you absolutely go. Anyway, it's true. It's extremely true what we're saying. And all we do on this show is try to speak the truth. I mean, are we going to get it right every time? Probably not. Because unfortunately, the media lies on both sides sometimes. So you got to do a lot of freaking research to get close. You know what I mean? To get close. All right, we're going to hear a couple of spots, and then we're going to come back in to end the headlines and beyond on this Monday, February 9th. And of course, it is Unleashed, and my name is Daryl. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back for this last little quick.
Don't forget. Thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah, we do want to thank everybody for tuning in always.
Don't forget to check out Cypress Point Resort. Memories are made at Cypress Point. Close to home, yet it feels miles away. At Cypress Point, you can truly get away from it all. You can step back to a simpler time, yet enjoy all the amenities of today. Cameron's Garage is a sports bar and music venue. There's a lunch buffet every day inside Cypress Point. They also have a steakhouse and the Tavern. The Tavern is a quaint little place with live music Wednesday through Saturday. And of course, you've got the Safari Park and Petting Zoo. Don't forget about all the event halls, including the Wedding Chapel and so much more. That's Cypress Point Resort, located at 874 Hollybush Road, Brandon, Mississippi. Contact them at 601-829-1101 or at cypresspointms.com.
Social Security is with you through life's journey from birth to retirement. As your life changes year to year, so do your needs. For over 80 years, Social Security has helped to meet your needs and is committed to improving access to the services that make a difference in your life. Today, you can verify your earnings, estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, manage your benefits, and even change your address, all from the comfort of your home. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Mobility Medical is your home medical equipment provider. Located in Flowood, Mobility Medical specializes in medical supplies, medical equipment, wheelchair lifts, wheelchairs, electric wheelchairs, lift chairs, and mobility equipment. Our phone number is 601-932-1001, and our catalog is available on our website at mobilitymedicalinc.com. Mobility Medical, your trusted source for medical supplies and equipment.
Hey folks, Daryl Arnold here with 104.3 FM and Unleashed Media. If you're looking for a fresh start in 2026, listen up. Mississippi Coding Academies and the Next program are launching brand new classes in January of 2026. No cost to you. You can learn coding, AI, cybersecurity, drones, robotics, digital operations. These are real in-demand skills that lead to real Mississippi jobs. No degree needed, no experience needed, just the drive to build a better future. Classes begin January 2026 with locations across the state and online. Visit mscoding.org. That's mscoding.org and discover what's next for you.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media Radio Show and live stream with your host, Daryl Arnold.
We on fire!
We on fire, y'all. Right before 8 a.m. Coming up on the top of the hour in about 3 minutes. We're going to bring this party down, y'all. We're going to bring this party down. The Russ, man. Government can definitely bully their way into whatever they want. That's why we must keep the good politicians in office. That's right. The good politicians. Because there's some good ones, even though we don't get to talk about them a lot. But we do, in fact, talk about them. Because they are some good ones. They absolutely are. Big time. You just got to look for them. And you got to make sure you stay on top of your district, all that good stuff. I know we talked about it last week, but of course what they were calling the school choice here in Mississippi did not pass the Senate. Tate Reeves went on a rant about it, our governor. And again, I said I'm not taking sides on it because I'm having children in school, but I mean, we are still going to be having some good discussions with that and about that for a very long time because, you know, I do think it's important to discuss some sort of angle to make this work out for everyone instead of, you know, one-sided, this-sided, that-sided, whatever. Hope you enjoyed your fantastic weekend. Thanks again for tuning in at WP, BP 104.3 FM, and of course the live stream. My name is at Daryl Arnold MS on Facebook. And of course, Get Unleashed Media on Facebook. Unleash_talk, YouTube, and all the rest of them, including TikTok. So, my name is Daryl. Have a fantastic rest of your Monday. I'll be back soon. Until then, see ya.
Thank you all for tuning in. Hashtag unfiltered, hashtag unapologetic, America First Talk at its best. Where we party the right way. See you next time, or else.